Hey everybody, Jamie here, joined today by my good friend Kirillov. Today we're going to discuss the Nintendo's digital event of E3 2015. So overall, I freaking loved their little puppet and the way they presented all their information. What do you think about the little intro and all that stuff?
I thought it was really cool. It was entertaining, that's for sure. I mean, as you know, I'm not Nintendo's hardcore fan, but that caught my attention. I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, last year they had their little, basically, like a robot chicken-esque version with the little toys. This year they had, followed up with, puppets. I just think it's hilarious that, it's a good way to keep, the viewer retention and, entertained while they're still showing awesome content for their new games and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It had that Muppet feel with the comedy, and I absolutely loved it.
And there was, random scenes where, he's in his office, stroking his bananas, and he just, looks over. Okay, so on to the games. So, of course, the first one they show off was Star Fox Zero. Now, the director Miyamoto, you could really see the love for his series. He talked about the history of how he invented the Star Fox series, and he talked about the little arches in Japan and stuff like that. And it was just really cool how we kind of got an inside look at the history and a little bit of the lore of the invention of even Star Fox in the first place.
Oh yeah, and it's really cool just even listening to that. I mean, I never really thought that he put that much thought process into it. I thought it just came from,
from who knows where. Yeah, it just shows how much love he really has for this series. But as for the gameplay itself, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't too impressed. I mean, it did look really cool with the transformations into a little walker mode, or the Landmaster going up and flying around. But I'm not a huge Star Fox fan, so I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not as hyped as many people are. But personally, it just looked, the graphics themselves didn't look super stunning. I know they're trying to super focus on a solo campaign, but honestly, with the Wii U's going with Splatoon and stuff, I feel like they should put in a multiplayer online dogfight or something like that. But I don't know.
One of the things that I did notice though while looking it up was how they're using the gamepad to kind of double up as a cockpit kind of feature. I thought that was really cool because a lot of people, they don't like to use a gamepad. Yeah. But maybe this will give them some more incentive to actually pick it up again.
If Splatoon's controls weren't hard enough to learn, these ones are gonna have that. I do commemorate Nintendo for that though. They love making a learning curve before you can even play the game.
And that is good. That is good because nowadays all games are one set of controls and done.
And you finally agree.
I will admit that. I will admit it.
They're all the same. So it is an innovative control scheme.
Nintendo will keep to their innovation when it comes to controls instead of just keeping it grid by grid per platform.
Yeah. It's really interesting, and I think it's kind of cool that actually, as far as Star Fox timeline wise, they're going with dubbing it Star Fox Zero, as in it's supposed to be not necessarily a remake of the original, but not necessarily past it or before it. It's kind of just a reimagining of what would happen at the beginning of this happening instead of whatever happened in the original, you know?
Yeah, and that's going to be kind of an interesting fix because we're going to get people who are definitely going to fall in love with it, and people are going to say, no, we need to stick to the old ways.
Overall, I think it does look cool. And there is actually a co-op mode that they said where one person's on the TV actually moving the R-Wing, while the other person's on the gamepad doing the cockpit stuff. So if you're not too good at the controls just yet, you can split up the controls in half to each person.
That's kind of cool.
And then once you're better, you can obviously do both at the same time, which is nuts. But it's Mr. Miyamoto on the Treehouse stream when he was playing it, he was literally destroyed. I don't even know. It was I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah, no, that's going to be way interesting. That'd be a fun one to pick up and play.
So, another thing they were really expressing was the 30th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Maker was way highlighted. We had them at the Nintendo World Championships, which got everyone way hyped about the game. And again, I just thought it was so awesome and how much love they have for this series. Him bringing out the original concept art, literally written on there, 1985, and showing the wax paper edits and the little whiteouts. It was just it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, no, that is way cool. I mean, just the fact that they keep that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously they would for records and things like that, but the fact that they'd be willing to bring it out and show us, that's way cool.
It's awesome. And then they're having that one Super Mario Maker amiibo, the little 8-bit one, and then they actually included amiibos for it in Super Mario Maker, where right now the only one that's compatible is Wii Fit, the most random one. That's the only one compatible so far. But literally, I don't know, it's pretty funny. And throughout the event, whenever they would switch what's it called, topics to a different game, they would actually show Mario Maker him hit a mushroom and then turn into that next character. So we do know a couple other characters are there, like Zelda, and I know Marth was one, and stuff like that. But they didn't like officially reveal that this was Mario Maker footage until the end. Like, so I was just kind of assuming like, oh, they're just keeping the trend and like just kind of showing the transition. Like, it didn't mean anything, but it's actually in game, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, well, Nintendo, they're really good at having those little hidden things that show, you know, hey, this is going to be a game or in-game. And so it's just kind of interesting to see how they do that, especially throughout their presentations.
To be honest, I wasn't too hyped about Mario Maker at first. I didn't think, like I've been saying before in my predictions video, I didn't think Mario Maker was up to the hype caliber of Smash Bros. Since it's the Best Buy demo this year. But honestly, after seeing it at the World Champions and then seeing it at the event now, I can kind of see how it's a big deal now since it's 30th anniversary and it's literally like the definitive make your own Mario, you know?
Yeah. I think that's going to be really cool. I mean, just to be able to create your own kind of Mario game, I would say. It's something that they haven't really done.
People want it since ever.
Want it, yeah.
Since ever. There's been like Flash games, but that, like, you know, nothing compared to something of this caliber.
Exactly.
So some other titles they touched on. Yoshi's Woolly World, nothing really new there.
No.
Xenoblade X, they did show that there's going to be a release date for that, because that's out in Japan already. So at least we saw that, and there was just another trailer, which we've already seen a lot of. Then there was some touching on Fire Emblem Fates, so now we can know when that game's going to come out here in America. Also, we saw some more Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, which those both all had just like little small segments. The one that I'm pretty upset about that we need to touch on is the Animal Crossing one. First of all, Happy Home Academy. At first, I thought it was like a little mini game where you're just in houses, but there's actually like gameplay where you actually are designing the town too, and like putting the houses where they are.
That's way cool.
It actually looks really cool. So like, I'm actually going to start more interested than I thought I was at first with this game. But then there was of course the leak from somewhere showing the Animal Crossing amiibo, so that got me hyped for Animal Crossing Wii U, because why else are they going to make figurines for a handheld? It wouldn't make sense. Anyways, I'm thinking Animal Crossing Wii U is coming. I can't wait. I'm jumping off the wall. You see Isabelle come through the train station. She walks 2 feet. I'm like ecstatic. And then I see these little like circles on the ground. I'm like, what? No. No! Mario Party! They crossed it with Mario Party.
There's not much that I can say to that other than the little Happy Home Academy one. I did see a little bit of that and actually caught my attention. I thought it was way cool how they kind of presented that for everyone. The Mario Party one, yeah, I think it's cool you get to play as different characters. You know, KK, good old Rocky Raccoon, Tom Nook, we all know his name. But, I mean, still, it is kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm not one to stick to the game for too long, but I do enjoy playing it every now and then.
Exactly. Yeah, well, granted, they are sticking to, I guess, the more original Mario Party formula, not like the new Mario Party 9 and 10 that people don't really... It's a mixed emotion there with, like, everyone's in the same cart. So I guess in that essence, they are on their own spots. So in a way, it's the better Mario Party, but it's still Mario Party Animal Crossing. Like, I just want my Animal Crossing Wii U, which maybe this Happy Home Academy I'll have more content than I thought it would, so maybe this will give me my Animal Crossing fix. Because all, like, the creation aspects, like, why hasn't this already been in an Animal Crossing? Being able to move stuff wherever you want without having to take everything up, put it all down, realize it's in the wrong spot, take it back all up, and then moving houses around, literally public work projects, building in an instant, just putting them wherever you want, flowers just instantly going. Like, why wasn't this already in the series, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely something that, should have been asked a while ago, but at least they're addressing it now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be fun. Probably end up getting the Animal Crossing amiibo anyways, even though I don't want the game.
Yeah.
Because I love that series. But another series I want to talk about, which I was right in my predictions, that they would have a new Metroid. Granted, I was a little wrong on what kind of Metroid. So when Blast Ball was introduced at the Nintendo World Champions, first reaction, I was like, this kind of looks like Metroid Prime Hunters. You got the arm cannon, you hold down the trigger, do his charge blast. I'm like, it looks really similar, but it's like a spin-off. So I'm like, oh, this probably should be an eShop title and whatever. I'm like, they should have made it Metroid, though. Turns out 2 days later, it is Metroid. And now I'm actually mad that it's Metroid, because I'd rather have a real Metroid, not a little spin-off Federation Switch Force Trooper Force. I don't know. I mean, it's nice. Metroid's finally back, but it's like spin-off Metroid. So I feel like we don't even know if freaking Samus is even in the game. So far, we've only seen these little like mechs with like little like midget guys going in them.
For all we know, the Samus armor will probably be the only thing in game, but not Samus herself.
That would be horrible. I mean, so at least we're seeing something from that universe. So I can't complain. I can't complain there. Metroid is alive. Mm-hmm. I can't complain there. But I would have much more preferred what I had predicted, a Wii U version of a Metroid Prime game where you use gyro to point and aim, or then a 2.5D side-scroller collectathon Metroidvania title for 3DS. Like, that would be amazing, just so amazing. Like, but they're going this route, and maybe, I don't know, maybe Samus will get her break cut out for her someday. I don't know.
We'll see.
So another thing in my predictions that I was, again, kind of right, was a new Paper Mario-ish. So basically they're taking Mario's 2 RPG series, the Mario and Luigi series, and the Paper Mario series, and crossing them. Which honestly, like on paper, it sounds like a pretty good idea. They look like they're pulling it off quite well. But just biasedly and preferably, I really, really want to see a traditional Paper Mario game. So that's the only reason I'm disappointed about seeing this. I used to really enjoy the Mario and Luigi series. Partners in Time was one of the best games on the console by far. But I haven't kept up too much lately with since Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, and I guess now this one. It's just preferably, I would have rather seen a real Paper Mario. You know, I thought that leak we heard about earlier at that one event from that specific studio who usually makes Paper Mario games, like, I thought this was it. I thought we're finally getting 1000-Year-Old Door 2-esque type deal, you know?
2000-Year-Old Door type game.
Yes, 2000-Year-Old Door.
Just goes down.
So what do you think about this cross?
I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I did play a little bit of the Paper Mario game, and I liked it from the amount that I played, but it's definitely one of those things where I feel like Paper Mario is Paper Mario and Mario is Mario. You can't really mix them for me. I understand that this is going to be like the better mix out of the other.
Okay, so Mario and Luigi, their gameplay, I mean, it's an RPG base. It's turn by turn, like it's dynamic, like blocking and countering. But they're different. They still are different, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. But I mean, when you have a great game like Paper Mario, you have a good first one, and then you have some that get a little bit rougher. You know, it's like time to redeem yourselves and get another good one up and running.
Yeah, I thought this was it. I thought they were going back to the roots, but I don't know. This one looks okay. It doesn't look totally bad. I think it's just I'm more disappointed because it's not what I want it to be. So I want to just wrap it off with Legend of Zelda, since they did keep to their word that Zelda Wii U was completely absent from this E3. We didn't see anything about it, which I still don't like, but what are you going to do? But they did. We actually predicted this a while ago when they announced that there wasn't going to be Zelda and that they were going to make a top-down handheld game, kind of because Link Between Worlds was gone and past. We're thinking another one would come out. So it looks like they're doing a kind of like a spiritual successor type deal to 4 Swords, except this time it's 3 swords, I guess.
Tri-swords. Yeah.
And like it's weird. Like it's focusing on like clothes and like abilities. Like this game actually kind of looks pretty cool, like cooperative playing with friends and stuff like that. But I think this is the wrong console. I really do, because it looks like a pretty online-heavy game. And how often are you really online when you're on your 3DS?
That's very true.
Only if you're on a Wi-Fi hotspot. Like most of the time you're playing your 3DS, you're on your train, you're on a plane, you're on the go. You're not usually up to the Wi-Fi. And like this one, like they were saying, if you're not playing online with friends, there's gonna be like dummies that you can control yourself. But I think like the charm and the awesomeness of this game is going to be the co-op and playing with friends. So how cool would that have been if it was on Wii U? All like 4-player local co-op, and like you had all 4 of you teaming up together, or then also online as well, so like 2 people can play online with other 2 people.
It would have been easy to have done also.
Yeah, I just feel like it's still probably gonna do great. It looks still really fun.
Good,
I just feel like it could have done a little bit better on the Wii U, since it looks to be a little bit more online focused. Oh, one quick thing I want to mention: right after the Star Fox part, where they're talking with the director of the Skylanders series, I thought this was it. I thought it was Amiibo Land. We're getting like a sandbox game for all my hoarding Amiibo collection. And then Donkey Kong and Bowser are going into Skylanders. So that's that.
And what I gotta think is like, why these two? I could understand, like, you know, Mario, Luigi, Bowser, but why Donkey Kong? Like, that's the random one for me.
Yeah, I mean, they maybe they're more muscular, I guess, because they're both the more buff characters.
Base,
so because I think a lot of the Skylanders characters are like big guys. Yeah. I mean, there are the more speedy guys, but I think, anyways, they didn't make Amiibo Land. They should. They're stupid if they don't. Mm-hmm. Last thing I want to wrap this up with is they did talk about the NX, but they made it very clear that they're not going to be talking about it until next year. So what do you think about that? Do you think some games that were supposed to be on this the Wii U are going to end up being actually pushed to this new console?
I genuinely think that they will. They'll probably hold off a lot of the bigger brand name titles for the NX. I could see that being a good strategy for them because when you release a console, you need good games behind it to get it to sell. Mm. And that's really what Nintendo needs right now, is something to sell. Yeah. And so they'll probably hold off a lot of big titles. As we know, the Zelda game will be for Wii U when that gets released.
Or what do you think it's going to... Maybe it'll be like Twilight Princess, where it'll be next gen and last gen, you know?
I could see that easily happening. And when or if they plan on doing that, you'll definitely be able to see a spike in both the consoles.
Right, yeah. Which, I mean, it's kind of a bummer. That means we gotta wait even longer for freaking Zelda. But what are you gonna do? But overall, though, it's a really awesome push, because the main theme of this Direct, they said, was transformations. Transformations, literally as Mario putting on a new suit, or, as they say, on a big scale, the whole company, corporation, transforming with their outsourcing of their IPs with the theme park. They talked about the mobile games, and then obviously the NX eventually. So like, I think it's really cool that Nintendo's like starting to take that initiative and like make a big change in their whole strategy. But the last thing I do want to touch on is when they're playing that montage at the end with all those people jamming out to the Super Mario theme, like all the warm and fuzzy feelings were happening. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. They're going to release like Mario Galaxy 3 or some new 3D Mario that's just going to blow everyone away. But it didn't happen. So overall, I think this E3 was definitely weaker than last year. They did decent enough, but I mean, I don't know. I'm a little wishy-washy right now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What are your final impressions?
For Nintendo, usually they do wonderful at their E3s. This definitely wasn't their big hitter, as it usually has been. What I will say is Nintendo did come and release some games for us. We were able to see something. Some titles we knew about, some of them a little bit newer. Yeah. So they did their job. They did all right.
Yeah, it was still good. It was good. It wasn't a bombshell. It was don't get me wrong. It was a good Direct. It just wasn't like awe shocking. You know.
Yeah, it wasn't a bullet bill.
Yeah.
It was like a green shell.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Give this video a like. Subscribe for more on Nintendo E3 coverage and more. Thanks guys, bye.